One voice in her head ran her entire life for 15 years. It never once told her the truth. If you've ever lost an opportunity, a relationship, or a version of your own life, not because of what happened to you, but because of what your own mind kept telling you while it happened, I want you to hear this. Your mind is not automatically on your side. It will run the story it's used to running, whether or not that story is still true. And if you never learn to question it, it will quietly decide the whole shape of your life without ever asking your permission. I want to tell you about a woman named Maren. Maren was 31 the first time she talked herself out of a life she actually wanted. A promotion offered to her directly that she turned down before she'd even finished hearing the sentence. Not because she couldn't do it, because a voice she'd carried since she was a teenager, quiet, certain, relentless, told her she wasn't the kind of person things like that happened to. She didn't call it anxiety, not back then. She called it being realistic. It cost her more than that one promotion. It cost her a relationship 3 years in, when the same voice convinced her that wanting more from someone meant she was ungrateful for what she had. It cost her friendships, quietly, one by one, every time she assumed rejection before anyone had actually rejected her. For 15 years, Maren's mind ran the meeting, and she just attended. Here's what I need you to understand, because it's the part most people skip past. Her mind wasn't malicious. It thought it was protecting her. Every catastrophic thought, every "don't even try, you'll just be disappointed," every "they're only being nice, they don't really mean it." It was all built from somewhere real, an old hurt, trying to make sure it never happened again, the only way it knew how, by keeping her small enough that nothing could reach her. That's usually how it works. The mind that's ruling you isn't your enemy. It's an old guard dog, still barking at threats that left years ago. The morning everything changed for Maren wasn't dramatic. She was 39, standing in a bathroom before a job interview she'd almost canceled twice, and she heard the voice start its usual routine. "You'll freeze? You always freeze. They'll see right through you." And for the first time in her life, she didn't just believe it. She asked it a question instead. Is that true? Or is that just familiar? That's it. That's the entire turn. Not confidence. Not a sudden cure. Just one moment of separating the thought from the fact, noticing that "I feel like I'll fail" and "I will fail" are not the same sentence, even though her mind had spent 15 years insisting they were. She went into that interview still afraid. She just stopped treating the fear as instructions. If you take nothing else from this, take this. You cannot always control the first thought that shows up. The old guard dog barks whether you invite it to or not, but you get to decide whether you follow it out the door. Maren didn't fix her mind overnight. She started small, noticing the thought, naming it out loud sometimes, just to break its spell. There's the voice again. Then asking, every single time, whether it was protecting her from something real or just repeating something old. Some days she still lost. She turned down a dinner invitation out of old habit and regretted it by that evening. But losing one round doesn't mean the war is over. It means you fight the next one a little more awake than the last. 2 years after that bathroom mirror, Maren took a role she would have talked herself out of at 31. Not because the fear disappeared, because she'd finally learned the difference between her mind's warnings and her mind's word. So, if you're in a season where your own thoughts feel louder than your actual life, where every decision gets run through a committee of old fears before you're allowed to make it, I want you to remember Maren's question. Is that true, or is that just familiar? Ask it today, about one thing. Just one. That's how she started too. Rule your mind. Or spend your whole life quietly obeying it. If this reached you, subscribe to Fortitude Tales for more stories about the quiet battles that shape who we become.